Hello everyone. Today we are getting into a new topic on graphing quadratics in standard form. And so for just a review, standard form, that is when we have our function in the form y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. And just a few reminders for what all that means is that when a is greater than 0, so that number in front of x squared, then we know that our graph is going to open up. If it's less than 0 or if it's negative, then the graph opens down. Another thing that we can immediately tell from our standard form is that our y-intercept is at 0, c. Our axis symmetry is at x equals negative b over 2a. And our vertex is our x-coordinate is that opposite of b over 2a. And then what this is really just saying, if you remember function notation, is that our y value is whatever we plug in for x, which is our opposite of b over 2a. So when you plug that in, so let's say if that were 1, you would plug in 1 for each of these x's, simplify, and that will be your y coordinate. And so when we are graphing these, we're going to follow some steps to do that. First, we're going to find and graph the axis of symmetry. Or AOS for short. And we're going to make this as a dashed line. And you'll see why we want that in a second. Second step is we're going to find and plot the vertex. So remember, to find that vertex, we use that axis symmetry, our opposite b over 2a, and we plug it into our function to find the y-coordinate. And then next we're going to plot the y-intercept and use this point and the axis symmetry to plot another point. And then we're going to draw a smooth curve through all the points. And so what I mean by that, let's say I have this graph right here. Let's say this is my y-intercept, this is my vertex. I have my axis symmetry here. The way that we use our y-intercept and the axis symmetry to plot another point is that we're going to reflect our y-intercept to the other side of our axis symmetry. And basically that's because the axis symmetry, it cuts our parabola in half. And so that means that all the points on either side are going to be equal distant from each other to the axis symmetry. So let's say here it was 1 space away. Then I would go 1 more space away to reflect it. And then I'd make my parabola. So go ahead and move on to the next videos to see some examples of how we do that.